kwaba.
Yeah, Joe, Pastor.
And then the overcome bro for Nipi Nafra.
To English and
Yeah, let's pray. Yehuwa da wase say in the kwame praying. Na one be di adwumadi anim. Abusuafo yewa ama no ne fie ne mmea bebree no. Sikasɛm ene etete abusuafo pa na ehunu ne mebɛbɔ yɛ daakye so a ya na ɛboa yɛn nti fo akwa so na kasa kyerɛ yɛn mmere yi. Yesu dim ne yɛsrɛ wɔ. Amen.
Amen.
Nti sɛ meka yɛ no megya mo hɔ akɔ but ɛfiri saa bere kuro no obɛtumi ahyɛ aseɛ na kyerɛ sɛ ɔne yɛn adi nkɔmmɔ.
All right. Yo, Pastor, thank you. I appreciate this opportunity.
Yes.
Me.
Mehwɛ ade bi ansɛ mehu sɛ meyɛ a eba ɔka sɛ ɛyi no ɔkɔ but meyɛ a ɛnkɔ internet no in a few minutes I think there's something let me say me zoom no last week na meka sɛ yɛ saa nti I'm saying I don't know what it is. Oh, so I don't have permission to stream. Wow. Okay, I'm saying no, until let's do this. Let's record it manually. Maybe I will look into what is causing this. Nah, I think say you may so Zoom for so I need to check into it. You see, let's record it to the computer for now. Never. All these minutes once. We did make some adjustments. Justina and I worked on this with Elizabeth. And these EVOs, last time we ratified EVOs, but we didn't have details for the numbers of the vote. We just read it. Okay. Now you can start.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Thank you, sir. Let me share my screen.
I would add this first one. You can see it. It only talks about a $75,000 loan. It doesn't say for.
Okay. Right we made a good evening. I believe just send Pastor Kaya the basic especially retirement. Ghana for teacher most of the time pension. And I think say one part or one aspect you tie overlook and you don't really prepare properly for it. And then Ray yɛbɛdi nkɔmmɔ kakra. So usually how I do in some moment best 15 minutes it be not my go through my slides. Now if there's any questions if yeah not I know. Until I try to make it very interactive until you say, the more questions that you boost on it and also and then a bit to me aboy am I to me I get a good idea of what we are going to learn. And that topic my 20D pre-tax versus Roth, which one should I choose? So about taxes up, right? So I just full disclosure, I mean, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax preparer. I'm a financial advisor. I work a lot with other CPAs and if tax preparers. So I have a working idea of taxes, right? So about taxes essentially you more who do bebree. Baako ɛyɛ biribi a yɛfrɛ no sales tax sɛ ebi a wokɔ akɔdi dwa a wotumi wohwɛ receipt no so a wohu the taxes a wɔn charge o. Na yɛwɔ biribi a yɛfrɛ no estate taxes. Estate taxes yɛ sɛbi sɛ wofiri mu a wɔ yɛ twika sɛm bɛka agyapadeɛ wɔ agyapadeɛ. America sɛbi wofiri mu nso so a What you say, utra taxes. From so utra so ubetra taxes. And I will be a friend of long term and short term capital gain taxes. And I know your investments. More your investments. Well, ABS market in the IMSA no. And also so taxes are on betria. But in any way, the baby home come on be a friend of income taxes. Me know yin na your war zoom so. At the end of the year, you treat taxes. Last month, by April 15th, I was so to me file taxes. And then, I know who na you be doing home come kakra. Now, said about your retirement planning, you essentially your man who do me, you will be a friend of pre-tax. Ultimate sack for we could call it traditional or tradition. Essentially what this is no ɛyɛ sɛ sika nti yɛwɔ account ahodoɔ bebree yɛwɔ biribi a yɛfrɛ no 401k ɛna ɔmo a wɔyɛ adwuma for hospitals and non-profits no ɔmo deɛ no yɛfrɛ no 43b ɛna yɛwɔ biribi a yɛfrɛ no IRA ɛna yɛwɔ biribi a yɛfrɛ no annuity ɛne pension nti wei mu nyinaa yɛ different accounts a yɛtumi use for retirement and a pension but sɛna sika no bɛkɔ mu no ɛno na ɛbɛdetermine taxes a wobɛtua nti bibia yɛ a yɛyɛ adwuma sɛ most jobs ɔmoma 401k ɛna sɛ woyɛ adwuma for state a ɔmoma wo pension because they say first it wasn't always like that and that pension was like a big deal adwuma bi a bɛkɔ biara na pension na ɔmo ɛde ma but as time went by they came up with 401k and essentially 401k took over pensions but back to the topic about a taxes nti sika for any pre-tax and any tradition for a account no amount sika na bekomu no it says amount withheld from an employee's gross pay before federal, state, and local income taxes are applied. Simply meaning say, sika na ye de egu sa account yi mu no. Ɔmbɛte free paycheck no. Wunya ntwea ho taxes. Nti no every gross income. Nti wunya ntwea. Nti na mboa na sɛ wo kwa akɔyi sika na saa time no ɛna wobɛtwea taxes. Yemu bebree adwuma yɛdwuma mu deɛ ɔmo de ma yɛ no most of them ɛyɛ wei bi ɛyɛ traditional 403b and I said 401k nti sɛ wɔ a moma yɛnhyɛ no so cause na mboa wodu sɛ retirement na wokɔ akɔyi sika yemu bebree nneɛma bi wɔ a yɛnhyɛ no anim right we're not very much aware of these stuff and some people become very I know some one of my clients yeah your friends say you're calling 401k with your fair fidelity yeah you scared from taxes that would travel on kwan and some koto and she was surprised into you need into the say so 401k tradition 401k now now go shim maybe I will best 100,000 and 200,000 and you 200,000 a womb because after we taxes and all obviously you have less. And let's look at some pros and cons of tradition 401k no. So it says pro by lowering the taxable income, these deduction reduces an employee's total tax liability. Right? Into my example, into Yanka said a Kofi a year Juma and I feel when you're $100,000 in the income, sika wenya no. Or max it in the 401k, meaning say or the max the amount of bit team they go 401k mu. I year 24,500. What the that amount in the goom in that year? What did that amount in the goom? So that's 24,500, And because of this max, a goom, that year, the tax income I bet tax on a 75,500 and yet 100,000 no So essentially, what that simply means is that contribution sika na so what tradition 401k no sika na wo de egu mu no woyɛ your taxes a tax deductible. Into at the end of the year, of our taxes it's deductible, right? So a borrow MRO essentially same kind of will lower our tax bracket because 100,000 and it's 75,000 are two different brackets, meaning so we treat a little bit less our taxes more. Now, some of the con or like some of the disadvantage, said because we treat taxes and also say you know, I just say we treat taxes later on. Into essentially, you are going to pay taxes in the future when tax rates are unknown. Well, into that, I mean, the America, we owe over $30 trillion in debt, right? So when I meet, when I meet with my clients and a lot of financial professionals and economics, and they say that the taxes will go up because essentially, we have to. There's a lot of factors that goes into why I'm on for the against taxes because right. So essentially, if taxes will go up, simply meaning says that time I will use free the account in the mono. Not tax rate no was right. Essentially, more of your money will go towards taxes. Alrighty. Now next, will be a friend of Roth. Roth account. Now Roth account we know this this is different from tradition. So with this, sikana yedigu account we mo into your Roth IRA. IRA stand for individual retirement account. Right? I don't think so I spoke. So let me my man and defining that a little bit more. So IRA, individual retirement account, and a what 401k. Now, women na your retirement accounts out which me a use. The main difference, say 401k no, and the adjumam and a dema. Into ya will be. So when you be gra or the kobusa, or call HR busom, says some more 401k. Now some more also saw no busum say more match. More match now at least we did that amount egum. Into 401k there, a juma and a dema. IRA the stands for individual retirement account. And this a while na okobie. Into betimi ne obi to say me financial advisor say me na ye bie ama. When we say while na okobie. And the enye adwuma e bia obia na the bank account sika every bank na the egum. Nti Roth no we ni the sika e accounts ni mu no. What you on taxes awie. Nti nyamboa wokɔ akɔyi sika na untria taxes. Oh, my remember example, I know said Suffolk, Pastor Amo was not on here, but I had a meeting with Pastor Amo and he gave a great example. And I think say yeah, you move a brave to me, I related to it. Or could be a Roth account, right? Now, and he was telling me that I think that was in that Nifie the roof. Here he needed money to fix the roof or no. And he took out he's got in a Roth account in him and I could fix it in the roof or no. Because said Sikana would do a go mono, right? Now what you on taxes area no or you got free money when you any taxes. Well, so essentially it helped him keep more money because he already paid taxes. And these accounts so it will market in him, so it will gain interest. It will be market exposed, so it will gain interest, right? So with Roth accounts, you're gaining interest. So essentially, it's tax after tax money. The NS kind of almost also would be BBF and tax deferred. Then when you take out the money, that's tax free. So market gains sika no ɛyɛ tax free, income tax free. Now, what are some of the pros and cons? Pro or advantage, ɛyɛ sɛ you don't have to pay any taxes when you take some kind. And won't taxes be so you scan free map. Con, no upfront tax deduction. So sikana odi egumuno, ready at the end of the year where your taxes are, you can't deduct it. There's no deduction at all. But another con, be a friend income restriction. What that means, let's say, so we make it in 2026. That more income into so sika in that year it brought $164,000 that year into me NBA Roth account. And I say be I will file it as joint when no year. Now mumienu combined musika boma mo making more than 224,000 into me NBA Roth account. So there is income limitations. So those are the cons as well too. Nti, Mr. Ma, Mama say, yeah, those of us that are on, I want this slide in here, yeah, pa, Mr. Mo, Titu, yeah, Ghana for. So, you better take a note. I'm taking note. When there's one TBBI and then this slide, Mr. Ma, we slide in here, me, yeah, into patch out. Mama, pay attention to this slide. All right, so scenario number 1. Y'all, Edu. Or D62, not or your nurse, or your Juma or hospital. And maybe I know big time nurse and Sika Unya 140 a year. And I will retire in October 2025. Nti sika war ne account nti wo nkasa wo $400,000 ɛwɔ ne 401k, the normal 401k no. But sena ye Ghana for, and this is something I am coming across with a lot of my Ghanaian clients. Yeah, dear, you retire na ye address say ebi a pese kosi dan and ye business with Ghana. And it there obi antimi stop where you sika. And and house no free. Into which my go also call Chrome now call your business no. Into any I say but and then maybe why we have to be very careful because I'm seeing this a lot and too many times, especially in the African community, not just Ghanaian, in the African community. Say you retire, you say you could use seeking na I offend a lump sum. Now, say lump sum, but no, there are consequences. There are consequences. So you're watching so could use seeking na into the for example, a Jayawi, when they or $400,000 on the account him, and Sika, I didn't tell me to go. Whoa, into a no much house, I didn't Sika, I didn't mean to go. Yes, so you Sika over to my but there are some consequences, right? Into one, because said, or yet older than 59 and a half, no, or Kwako Sika na, on chia any penalty. But say anka woye younger than 59 and a half and maybe anka wo D58 and 55, 57 and sana anka kwako yiska na anka betria 10% penalty. Into this is for all retirement accounts. Into IRA, 401k, annuities. Pension is a bit different because pension the way that's structured a bit different because you have to work a certain amount of time to get it because it be how it be to me retire 50 no money and pension is a bit different, right? Now into Yanka said the year of 2025, you sure how much taxes that we're trying and how much what he was taxed on, right? One, you better taxing on the income no $140,000 now when you're free adjustment. You better tax it no. Now you're taxing no so what $400,000 no so why you not just all you $400,000 in no. In that year, 2025, no, sika a ɛbaa bottom and a sika a yɛbɛ counted as income. So ɔyɛ taxes into ɔde ne as if so forms in your friends say 1099 and W2 forms into the command CPN and tax preparers it is say Mr. Oti Musa na or the commander that year will make it $540,000 that year. Mr. Mama, pay attention because I can't stress on how many people are doing this. That year, that's how much I will make it. So what that would do is say, I bet trigger the highest tax bracket. Into amount I will be share our taxes munkwanya some kotoa, almost half of it, and will be share our taxes. Into say your share screen is so will share about 35%. Into your 540,000 times 35% tax, 189,000 and a call taxes in Kwamo. Uncle Sam, the ono if nefa or fire 185,000. Not the aka 351,000. Into from 540 to 351,000 per almost half of it went into taxes. Into what I tell people and say before into the way I just over retire. Now, why I just say yiska every 401k more pension whatever before we your grandpa be and only financial advisor send me. Montrase, no one discuss it, no one share what are some of the disadvantages or what are some of the advantages. We also an outside tax preparer, CPA, and the amount of your taxes. No, on so two people tax. In fact, the financial advisor and a tax preparer. No, mon transfer. No, mon math no. No mon shemu ye. No mon make sure say we am person me ye. A bebo me ana. Cause you sika. I know they gum. And you worked hard for your money. So you want to make sure say you save and keep as much of your money as possible. So one of my recommendations I tell a lot of my clients is into to say, oh, maybe I was zooming so. No, what the 50 at? What the 50? So 50 and up, you want to start thinking about retirement. You should sit down with an advisor. Sit down with an advisor and you look. So you're from age 50, 55 or corner, you're from pre-retirees. I can't retire. Doing it advisor and transfer. Now, you talk about it. Then you do what's called projection. Into the say, may retire at 60, may retire at 62, may retire at 65, may retire at 55. How is it going to be? Oh, sika say in me here. And a sika also, it must say in the matriarch taxes. Well, into the I'm very strict about that. We do 50, start thinking about retirement and you sit with a professional and you draw up a planner a bit to me about. Because the more prepared you are, the earlier you can retire. America they said, yeah, and you're careful. Obey your demand until so what the 80. And you also you're very careful and you plan accordingly. And one thing I could tell you is that America, why you're careful. Now why want to take some stuff into your own hands that the state and the government will plan for you. And I can tell you, and I guarantee you that you will not be happy with the plan that the state and the government has for you. I tell you, sit down with a professional, an advisor like myself, you sit, then you do a proper planning. All right, now, scenario number 2. Oh, there we go. Yeah, man, son. A retired nurse. I also retired at 62. So, well, you're nurse, and she used to make $150,000 a year. And now, and she also saw $400,000 on the Roth 401k. So notice the difference. Difference that woman say on it there, a Roth. Into some meaning say mokai the difference that into way no Roth in it there. We use free my won't taxes be and so yeah, war on it there ne eja kofin at the end say on way at the end there we use car won't taxes. Into ya eko use sika a free 401k in ma. Let's look at into on say obeso go sit down. Obeso yeah apartment obeso yeah a decided if I say farming, agriculture, obeso yeah farming into was sika into on there or Ghana, right? Now, she would only be taxed on her annual income of $150,000. That's it. That is the only taxable income in this scenario. In this scenario, that's the only money I'll be taxing. Into let's say in the tax bracket you 24%. Into you pay $150,000 times 24%. Hey, $36. Hey, $36,000. Right? Into sika obenya a obe keep what will come in our pocket a year $114,000 in obenya. Now into under why na adwin so we use sika every month. Obetimi ayi 400,000 every, right? Na say we and sika onya after we file taxes a year 114 no. Into your kaboma obenya $514,000 tax free. That's the power of Roth accounts. No taxes. Right? So it plays, yeah, you come in. So it plays a role. To me, eboa ye pa. Right? So if you plan accordingly, not the earlier you start, the better. Why? Because of what time. So kind of bit to me a grow. All right. Yeah, sure. Last scenario. Scenario number 3. Kwame Boateng, a pastor. Me anka pastor wɔ so anka I think sɛ n'ani bɛgye ho. Nti ɔno ɔyɛ pastor ɛna ɔno wa retire at 67. Na ɔyɛ pastor no na ɔrene ɛna sika wonya yɛ $70,000 a year. Ɛna wɔwɔ $250,000 on the 401k mu. But ɔno deɛ ɔne financial advisor ahyiaeɛ a wɔkɔ bie a Roth account. Nti ne Roth account no ɛwɔ say $350,000 ɛwɔ. Nti yɛnhwɛ. Let's do the math. Let's see how much he's going to take home after taxes. So maybe in 2025, we $70,000 if in 401k in him. $70,000 no also trail on taxes, 20%. Into $14,000 in the bucket taxes. Not $56,000 about the bottom. Maybe out in 2025, so on there, on there be a software video on one year so oko Ghana kosi be oko business on there be or chelo America hakakra. Into 2025, was I oye $100,000 if in a Roth IRA new. Now IRA no, Roth IRA no, and they won't charge taxes some okay because then there's a woman who yeah won't charge taxes. Into sika beba no bottom take home money $156,000. So 56,000 now when you after we trade taxes no not $100,000 in a free Roth account to him. Into essentially he would have more. But yensha deal into yanka said yanka sankawa when they advisor be anshia, right? They don't know anything about Roth accounts. Into on there the only man said the company in the man into on the 401k. Now I fancy Uncle Yi Sika Uncle Yi Sika free just 401k in the month. He wouldn't have that much money. Right? So in this scenario, or actually better yet, let me say maybe let me scratch let's back up. Maybe maybe a Jumano or 401k, but won't take advantage on participating, which you move by your work. So most of that's a lot of people. Your job gives you the 401k. Some people just don't participate in it. Into many BBI. Into in this scenario, ABI, he would only possibly have $56,000 and that's it. Right? Whereas when you pair it up into say oh 401k no ɛwɔ adwuma mu a wobɛtumi a also wobie a Roth IRA ɛso so na ɛno ɛbɛboa wo nti woka bom a because the adwuma mu de ma wo ɛne deɛ wakɔyɛ nti deɛ ebi adwuma mu deɛ no deɛ also wotwa ho taxes but deɛ wakɔyɛ no deɛ nyamboa a wokɔ akɔyi sika from a wontwa ho taxes so then you will have more income in retirement. Now, so for the next couple slides, a more of a side note, and no maybe I'm per se you didn't come kakra. So you will be a friend of roll over into you move you hard. Let say you jaya juma. Maybe a juma no a mile 401k. But and I'm so near juma will be right? Or 401k no ever. Right? It's associated with the company I used to work with. It might be the sponsor might be Fidelity, Lincoln, Voya, or whatever, but Ejumano is still associated with Sa Ejumano, right? You want to roll over. And to me, the Sa 401k now we'll work with UMass, we'll work with whatever group home, whatever. No. To me, I'll roll over into an IRA. Now they're very good IRA name. Right? Until you bet to me, they'll go Roth IRA and a traditional IRA. You have the choice to do that. So, which I highly encourage people, say be a Hana or old 401k, you definitely want to meet with an advisor like myself and then talk about possibly rolling over into an IRA. Because IRA, it stands for Individual Retirement Account. Where there you are, dear. A good analogy, you say, maybe a man, no, right? Suit. Maybe I'm a suit, a shami, me free men's warehouse. Me call Virginia, I'm called toy, men's warehouse. Into me call no, and me who me size. Into me who ya and answer me the share because it fits me. Into obi or how I the same size as me, obey me the suit yasha. But say Oko Taylor, maybe America ha, maybe Italians for the money you so. Say Oko Taylor, no susua. Maybe our palm suit a ma wo into our palm suit a ma make one watch it. Or susu me mensa me nine baby, I was susun kama, and our palm suit no amame. Sa suit in the be and to me shebi, ube to my sheba and call. I didn't try because I am your palm mame. Into IRA and the same thing. It's individual. It's meant for work, right? And a 401k you're more generalized. It's more employees. Obi obey adwuma wo bia na otimi this guy ego. Into that is a suit send am kai no. Into so free wa, obi also do sika ego IRA no. Oh, cuz and also etimi boa, right? It can help with market volatility. Simply what that means in the say market send a you move bebre say yeah yeah well 401k COVID buy you see it be some people lost money, right? Marketing costs are not bad form, right? But with a proper structured plan, you are able to mitigate and you are able to I wouldn't say eliminate, but mitigate and minimize side fluctuation. No? And it says sika cost on the form, no? Right? Until so here. A good analogy I says maybe what to every fear, right? My to dan foforo. What to dan foforo unya or couch entirely. You're not gonna leave it in your old house. You're gonna move it into your new house. So when you no longer work with an my friends say with an employer, you want to move it into an IRA into your new house, right? Now, wait there. This is off topic, very off topic. Maybe a presentation that basically me to, and I wanna share it with us because I think that a lot of us it will help us You move a brain shredder in him. You will be a friend of probate, but your mama ain't pay attention to this. Probate. So probate, the definition of probate is legal court supervised process of validating a deceased person's will. Say be God forbid, say be so free man, right? Court, your probate court. Omo na on be decided say sika we ebeko we ho, sika we ebeko we ho until 41k na you know say we ni na sika say ebeko we ho. You move bebree, yeah, Ghana for. And then it's not just yeah, Ghana for, just a lot of your average American or your average citizen. You be a savings account, right? So or joint account or joint savings account, and that's a joint checking account today different. Say BBB etoa or year and I'm so year and that's ukun edin that so and I be a ma edin that so no. Sika na ɛwɔ account no mu utimi abusua no etimi kom ekoyi. But say bia especially got omo Ghana I shouldn't say as a Ghana for if you are a member no no akobie account to be behind the yere echi. And I be was obanzo to me hey and some more. But obanzo to me be account behind the echi. Let's say bibi etowa. And I'm say obia edin enaso no. Ukun edin enaso oma edin enaso no. Sika ɛwɔ mu no, abusua no will go through court, and that could take months or a year or possibly more. You go through probate court. Some probate court and also approve it say, hey, me papa nie, hey, me yere nie, me nuaba say ni say nie. And some will say, okay, yes, this is a relative of yours, and sika no yet bema. But imagine pastor say be what free mu, na wo sika wɔ account mu, na oyere na ɔma ehia sika, right? And so sika wɔ also so yɛntumi ntumi mfa nsa nka because say na oyere edin ɛna so ɛna wo kunu edin ɛna so, right? So this is something I want us to be very aware of. We have to be very careful. There are ways of avoiding this problem. So this is why, once again, you want to meet with an advisor. I will bet to me know what chance and now we'll go through all other ways that I bet to me about now why avoided this problem. All right, next. So question is, because I know that my title no was which one should I choose? So ideally, ubenya dia nukreni ubenya dia nimienu. That's the best. Or raw or tradition for 1K. The adjuman mawa. Nice. But on top of that, also we get additional investment or additional planning. Now it could be a Roth IRA, right? You don't want to just stop there because at the end of the day, and that could be a different topic for a different session. So about retirement, unfortunately, you move brave. We don't know. The knowledge is not there. We just don't know it. You don't want to just rely on just a 401k. I could confidently tell you, say, so no why I didn't say 401k no, and maybe so that's all you're relying on. You're going to be highly deceived, and you're going to be very disappointed. That's why a lot of Americans, and Focal Walmart and then Target and all these stores, you see older people working because they did not plan well into omo retire sikanasa. So then they have to go back and work. So ideally, you want to make sure say, to me, if you can, you want to have both, right? But it's easier said than done because sikasam sometimes you can't afford to have both. Now, questions. Per se, memebusa na say yes also were questions either way you bet me I so one question into Mr. So uni mensa na what me ubetimi ya no about age of retirement our America but you must say in a new age with me retire America so be anka say me But you must do we know? You must say any news age you to me retire America. Sure. So, all right. Okay, so be any no, no, I think I see the chat. Let me sure. Oh, ABC 62 and ABC 767. Okay. Okay. All right. So, oh yeah, because you can't unmute. I think the pastor set it, until you went to me unmute it. But yeah, okay, that's fine. The way he did it, no, I forgot how he told me, but that's fine. Um, so yeah, 62, 67. Okay, but the answer to this question, as I said, retirement today, ultimately retire any age, you should you need age. You should any specific age. So where the 30, where the 40, where the 50, which me I retire any age. It's just that most people say about, I mean, if I say you can't retirement at social security na the first and about it, right? But that's not the reality, right? It's just you move no maybe we don't know. Which me retire 50, 55, 40. I have some clients at 43 or retire. Why? Because so I'm more planning accordingly. Send a mechanic before no. So at the end of one you're careful. Now we jama a system no I government no. We jama government now. Omo there they will have you work till say be already 17 year there. Right? So we jama that's the issue. So you jai no why want to take some actions into your hand now. Which you will work forever. Right? So the answer to that say is that there's no specific age. It's just unfortunate that a lot of us say you can't retirement at social security age na yeah by it. I be year 65 and 67. But my mission is to meet me me too. Okay, next question. As said, so about and this could be a little bit vague. How many of us are comfortable with our retirement savings? This doesn't it doesn't you don't have to directly say it because on average most Americans, your average Americans are very scared, and that's sad. They're very scared of how much they have for retirement because they believe that it's not enough, and and that's why you see older people. It be to me they have to work till say 70s and then are there. Your average American is very scared of how much they have towards retirement. And then lastly, question. This would be once again. This could be a little bit more rhetorical. So how many of us? I didn't type that right. So how many of us have a plan if we outlive our money? Right. So what that means is, Senator McKay, a lot of a lot of people say ebi a yes and I'm saying free anonti you bet to me most of us yeah I don't say because you chrome and I now say dollar in the cities there's a big difference and maybe we need best 1,000 a month to be out yeah okay so but with that to cry we have to be very careful when a lot of Ghanaian clients is share and African clients is share you have to be very very careful with that mindset it could cause a lot of issues. Yeah, almost a Uber Timako Chrome. Yeah, and idea, of course. But Sebi, God forbid, Oko Ghana, not be a Oko Yare, and I Yare be, Yare be Toa. Most likely, Uber by America. And I hope you do come to America. Because the reality is that the healthcare in America is better than our country. It's sad to say, but that's the reality. But America now, Obano. Healthcare and all that hospital visits in the idea, no, Intimidate Ghana for sure. Oh, me sit down. Oh, me as I say, me this and this and that and that. Yeah, of course. And then they me as you should, because Ukrom no. Yeah, what about America? What Benyeska? Um, you want to build and do something back home, but keep in mind, say be anything could happen, right? And so yeah, what I say, oh, about America. Na ebia say abusia someone passes away, something happens that women also plan it accordingly, right? Yeah, it's a big issue. But remember my main participation, my main say if I could unmute the people so you guys could more some booster beer. But you're mutimi unmute. Stop shit, man. Chat. Unmute themselves. Okay. My but your can you make my try? Will be waiting me unmute your mama try.
Afraid there, why?
Okay. Yeah. Not pastor turn up in such a way. Okay. Until but you say asembusa say you move be or asembusa or obey to me abusa.
Me pacho. The same for me refi. The okay say be usevu usika behind wira na ukuna. Na se bibi towa. Eno de me de to so say is so true. Me ni obi na ye adwuma we broni ena ni kunu no ewu ye. Na ni kunu no save ni sika nko. Ena ono so save ni sika nko. Enti bema no ewu for the past 2 years ni wa kwakwoto a wa try still ano o sika no omo mfama no enti e very difficult say wa anya nhyehyeye a na me question ne say bia o nipa mienu ni nyina mu be save abom na wo be hu a na baako ayi sika ni nyina na no so no wo be ya ne den chese okoyi wanimra ahoso no na sika na ebinim na wo be ya den chese
Hey, my way question ready more I think from a professional point of view, I mean, there's some stuff you have to. It becomes a little bit more personal, and you have to sit down and talk with the couples, But I know said different banks. Every bank is a bit different because the normal banks be hard. Depending on amount of year free mono, or more alert. In JBA, uni ukrum, our joint account, na say, oba na say bema na yi a large amount of sika alert will go to the other one. But you mean say, yeah, that makes a little bit sense.
that ntina na sa madam fiam no ye adwuma broni amaska na lokono no opa che say or diska guma na bema no use no too much.
Yeah.
And oye na adwin say ne on fa ne sika mbomu bio. To be save ni de no ono so save ni de. And unfortunately bema no ewu. And bema no wo sika on account. And sabre ono so only be na he need the money but it's finding difficult to get it. nti no say omo ma alert dey a na ne e bi ebeboa.
But on top of that, so one thing I will to me, I say ubie account utimi your fair baby TOD transfer of death. It is DCU, Santander, Bank of America, whatever it is, no. Okoha, no buson more about TOD. Now, what that is that utimi ede ebi awoba, and I say obi edin etoso se bibi toa. It's kano etimi call send back no. So that's a one way of avoiding that situation. If any TOD. Into ya no moko banker we will some about TOD now and how it works. Right? If you have more questions, I will bet me reach out to me na you no home come.
That's it.
In Asama. But your any other questions?
Me pacho so obi my idea message bisa one.
But go ahead.
Rover no.
Uh-huh.
The ebia 401k no roll over to private individual IRA na.
Mm-hmm.
They still consider it say you take the money off.
So that's a very good question, Ma. So roll over. We use Scana. Which mean there's a couple ways that you know. So we roll over Sicano from until the younger say or Usika or Fidelity, right? A Jumano, now one. Maybe a uyi akọ be a Lincoln, and now what they call a different institution. So roll over now because I institution to institution. And it there untria tax, untria penalty, a roll over. But this is where you have to be very careful, and you also when professional a juma. Say ABA omo make a mistake. No more church check no to the mama mean you to Margaret. No more church checking it to Margaret. And no yeah withdraw on my church checking no amount. At that, ubetria penalty net taxes. So much church checking the mawa. But so much church checking no Emma IRA company now this kako gumuna. And it yeah won't any penalty be a institution to institution. Right? It's a good question, I'll decide, because if you make the least mistake, you might end up being penalized. Minim say me yeah no. Me say me the brofono. Twi me
Ah,
go ana bana
that's the power yeah no.
But you.
Well, yeah, no, na made add to it and they say at the end of the year, no, who fare tassa, sa roll over now, oh yeah, no. Are they going to say, you cash the money or whatever, so they add it to your income and
No.
tax you?
So Uro send me kind Uro over from one company to one company now. Omo add it, Debbie.
Na say, ABI the same company and a 401k. Na so per se, we'll changing it to RIA. Ɛno ɛyɛ roll over anaasɛ sɛn na ɔmo consider no.
And this is yeah, and TBI Yangas Fidelity and our 401k no now so over so will be IRA with Fidelity. And also omo penalty and just from 401k rolling over to an IRA. As long as it's a roll over, not withdraw. Withdraw and now also we are careful because withdraw and the work at so we use sika. Roll and the work at so we use who first sika free 401k no akogu IRA no. Right. Into any there, yeah, omo penalize. But Nina usually the mayor say also when you be a new because you
Yeah.
make it the least mistake. Wait to me penalize.
Yo, me that's it.
That's man. Good questions. Good questions. But you will be so how or any other question? About 8 in that 8.
Mr. Boache, that was a pioneer
Mhm.
for the presentation. It's very insightful. Now, me person maybe say me medumam no na me 43B.
Mhm.
Is it pre-taxed or is so me reach me age now after 59 and a half years and na say me ko yi scanner wom na will I still be taxed? I thought say they told me say it was a pre-taxed.
So the answer to that and said a Roth 43B and to be a Roth ADNM ROTH and
Mm-hmm.
no and those accounts there ukwako yiska uncha taxes say ROTH ni any anymore a pre-tax into there and the ukwako yiska ubetria taxes. It is a ROTH ni anymore a tradition regular 43B. Now, but you can be I want to clarify. Sa 59 and a half no. And
Mm-hmm.
no say wo call ako withdraw sika. Uko yiska every month. Na be a wadi 50, 55, any age before 59 and a half. Uko withdraw and obetria 10%
Penalty.
penalty.
Okay.
But ultimately take loan loan we take loan na and the obetria interest rate. Untra penalty, obetria interest rate. And he said a sa 59 and a half or no that rule no and it applies for nini na uko yiska every mu withdraw out the why wadron say wuntra and back it doesn't matter say your raw tradition or whatever and they obey face that 10% penalty no before age 59 and a half no because essentially send on my end and say at the end of my end is in a way a bit wow into what on my end sign now for you use the car or more retire they won't have any money.
Mm,
And they do it in such a way to help us ourselves out.
okay.
When you say,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
You're clear. And that's
And that's my. And but your obi so how or a asembo bia.
ɛyi Kwame dase paa me mekɔɛ no sesia na meba
Oh, okay.
ɛyi nti menim nea waka no nea wonkaeɛ saa 59 no a Aunty Millicent kaeɛ no ɛm sɛ okay sɛ wopɛ sɛ ɔkɔbɔ mu bosia how does it work the traditional a 413B no sɛ wopɛ sɛ ɔkɔbɔ mu bosia now you're 59 and a half now. Yeah, no Musa said, do you still work for an alcohol with Rock do you still work for the same company? To be a Musa a question to us say. So when your company, when your company can you withdraw? Would if you say 59 and a half now? And I say, now withdraw but this time you work for the company. You just want to borrow. Do you have to pay taxes?
Okay. So let's
Two questions.
yeah. Let's address the first question though. So in terms of working with the company, so if you don't work with the company, you can still take money. You can take money in the form of withdraw any withdrawal before age 59 and a half. It doesn't matter say, if you work for the company or not. And then they'll be 10% penalty, no withdrawal.
Okay.
But bossian loan in the form of loan, no, loan in there, yes, ube to me, even if one year for company now, ultimately take your loan out, but ube interest rate.
What's your interest rate?
Which is it's not that bad sometimes.
Just
But
yes, say you want to oh yes, I'm no, na nye kronobo. Mia misiga masibu. Just abana boko mia misiga masibu amamo. And I'm watching me. Na me say mumma me be now. Na me say ntua ma de ntumu a. And I saw give me some tax.
So it's actually one of the perks. And the pastor, So sika na utua no, untua ma obi a utua ma wo ho.
Metua ma me ho he.
Plus interest. And the interest no so still we betria go wo account nim.
Ah, na me woska ne bi anka me bo bosia.
And there. And there's no kind and the means until my year no sir. But that's how it is. But to Uchia and Tibia will give us 5,000 not after BBI interest account by 5,500.
Mhm.
Would the gum, you could put it back into your own account, but it's the what can I say? What?
Okay.
It's
And
yeah.
Ah,
okay,
hello.
sorry. So be person be.
But I,
Yeah. Kwame, nyame nhyira wo paa.
oh, Marco, see.
Me deɛ no wɔ ayi te sɛ deɛ pasa kae no sika no yɛ media. Aso koraa aso sɛ mekɔgye. Ɔmo se meyi nsa nto baabi ante sɛ ɔmo ɛfiri hɔ ɔmo mfa biribi deɛ ɛsɛ sɛ ɔmo mfa biribi nka ho ɔmo mfa bi nka ho bio.
Okay.
Na menim sɛ ɛda hɔ ɛda hɔ a ɔmo tumi san te so anaa anaasɛ ɛda faako no sɛ ɛnwo a ɛso tumi so san te.
So, good question, ma. One, it be what high, it depending on amount a womb. Say amount in shada and no so omutimi di go automatically, it be how much di more to me di go IRA mu amount. Until you be my who clientele mo yen sa 401k nom dey go IRA amount. Na ebi wɔ hɔ so sɛ amount no ɛnhyɛ da ɛnnɔɔso biara saa ɔmo send you letter sɛ bra bɛyi. Right. But sɛ adeɛ ne sɛ ɛyɛ wawo sika. Nti wo deɛ sɛ wayɛ w'adwene sɛ wompɛ sɛ sika no wɔ account no mu. Na woyɛ okay with penalties na wotumi kɔ yi firi. Well. So to answer a question, most of the time it depends on amount it won't. Because most of the time say if you have if you have best 1,000 beer and I say 2,000 beer and it there on my case bro brabe use cano right. But say if you are door swan most of the time because I didn't at the end of company and I manage this cano. And he said if they see that and I'm they me make home me manage this council as well, so I understand how it is. So if they see that okay, if this really won't be as beneficial, I'm going to make a so there because I know some fidelity. I mean, if I work a lot with fidelity, into be or my clients be say almost send them no best at 1,000 into almost sending this guy and say you have this amount of time to come and take the money. And to answer a question, most of the time it depends on how much it was accounting. Meaning say me you are not.
Mpakyɛ medase na baako nso ɛwɔ mu sɛ no deɛ ɛm sɛ woankyerɛ ankɔ hɔ papa na ayi mate sɛ aban sɛ bi a ɔno ɔma wo te sɛ mass health anaasɛ medicare no na ɛduru baabi a na sɛ bi a mayɛ aberewa na bibi ɔmotumi ɛka sɛ ɛdan a watɔ no ɔmotumi ɛbɛfa anaasɛ bibi saa.
So
they have access in your property.
So the knowledge that I have on that, if it be long-term care. Long-term care a bit different, which Ghana for most of the time we don't face that because ABI so sebi yarebiato and now you're going to live in how do you feel say residential and nursing home. Those that. So Medicaid, I believe, and Medicare and Medicaid. Medicaid is a bit different. So sometimes to get Medicaid, you have to deplete your assets in Massachusetts. So sometimes to get Medicaid, you might have to deplete your asset, and that could be a dino, because that counts as your assets, right? So I know, sir. Papa, be one of my clients, Enra, and Monday, minute, Juma. Na minute, I was working with him. On this say, or catch him as Enoch. I don't want to go to a nursing home. I want to be able to stay in my house. If in case something were to happen to me, I want to have people come to my house and take care of me, right? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Until on this say, we got long term care insurance, MRO. Nti ɔno sɛ nti sɛ even if sɛ biribi to no a ɔbɛtumi atena fie a ɔbɛnya sika a ɔmode bɛma no bosome biara a wɔde sorry every day biara a wɔde bɛtua medical professionals a ɔmɛbɛ ne fie. And because sɛ wɔwɔ saa no okipo ne asset ne fie nti ebi anka wɔni saa long term care na ɔkɔ nursing home a sɛ na wɔkaeɛ no wotumi lose wɔ asset a ɛyɛ wo dan ɔmutumi fa dan no equity na ɛwɔ mu no in the state of Massachusetts they could take that in order for you to get nursing homes and what's it called skilled home mmerɛfidino yeah
Yeah,
I know
nursing home. Yeah,
yeah
nursing
nursing
home
home
and
yeah
that's assisted living.
That's the assistant living, yes. Yeah, it's a good question. And it is all kind that's a different topic I made to me. I am more lesson on that later on. Cause usually for me, yeah, most of the time, me dream say yeah Ghana for no, so I know man there, yeah, entire go through cause say me say me be sa to no about the time in check, me fa no nursing home. But they say nkra ma ba ma dream share na it's the same. To also share ye nkwa ya wo mo ha no.
Mame, ayarahusam o, wo de
E dey
wo
are also
ayarahusam pa o.
share ye cause one share omo de wo ba nursing home.
Aha.
And this is so nursing homes ne board dem pa ne board dem pa. And so yeah, that's something I have to do more. Also, me to me, yeah, Ghana for on how to avoid that and to pay for that as well. Because most of my clients, I'm funny there. Omunim say omuni baby omoko. Nti ene there, me know omo share long term care insurance in there. Omo ton say baby. Because omunim say omu here. But yeah, Ghana for usually yeah, I'm entire yes. Because most of it be why or they don't back Ghana. Hopefully, or they will back Ghana at least. Now so omo Ghana but sure. But yeah, a good question, man. May not that cool. If Pastor gives me the opportunity, I'll come back and I will expand more on that.
Oh, that's pa.
And that's-
Mepatro no ankasa ho question na emre bi na mehwɛ maame bi. Ɔse no ɔma yɛ old. Enti ne dan no, ɔne ne yere dan no. Ɔse ɔtɔn ama ne ba panyin no. Enti no na kyerɛ sɛ free ɔmo din mu. Ɔka kyerɛ me sɛ after 5 years no, ɛdeɛ so yɛde wɔn kɔ nursing home a government no ntumi nye dan no because ɔde kɔ ne ba panyin din mu nti ɔmo wu a na ne ba panyin no tɔn a na wakye sika na ma siblings no ne ma no nyinaa. Enti no mintumi hu sɛ that still work anaasɛ sɛn sɛ instead sɛ ɔmpɛ sɛ aban bɛfa ɛdan no nti no na wahyɛ da sɛ watɔn ama ne ba no on paper. Enti no yɛde ne kɔ nursing home a he doesn't have any access. Enti government have to take care of them. Is that true?
Yeah. So asset all kind. That's yeah. Just transfer of assets to the kids, but to take a step further. I'm no and no maybe I mean omukrom until no maybe or mama you will be a friend of trust. Start trust, simply put, trust is a how do I simply put? I had to say a entity of itself. And it's very similar to the mamene year now. Our day a dino a corny bad demon. Obeti me de sa a dino I could trust in him. And that will depend on the type of trust, irrevocable trust. That will take the asset every on the demo. Nti on paper, send our kind on paper, a dine dear and then a dear. nti so ɔkɔ a sɛ ebi a ɔkɔ nursing home a ɔmontumi ɛngye dan no cause ɛni ne din nti amanfoɔ ebi tumi yɛ saa ɔmotumi de ɛdan no ɛto trust mu na ebi wɔ so a ɔmotumi sɛ na ɔkan no ɔmo transfer to their kids. Yeah, that's a very good. That's a very good question. Okay.
Na no nso no na eduru baabi a te sɛ nea wɔka sɛ wɔmfa maame nkɔ nursing home. Ba nkwalaa na yawo wɔn ha ne de ahwɛ a wɔde wɔbɛkɔ no bebree de wɔbɛkɔ. Ɛno nti no sɛ wɔahwɛ ne yie nso na when you are still there no wode kɔ ne din mu a obetumi ato wɔn adi. Minim lawyer bi a na yire ne papa ewugya o maame. Enti enam so ɔno na yɛ lawyer. Ɛdan mmienu a ɔpapa de gya o maame nyinaa. Maame ne hunu yɛ na watɔn ne nyinaa di akɔ casino akɔto.
Wow.
Tata ama na asa. Enti kosi enkosi nkɔda wo de kɔ oba ne din mu for say bi kura BBC a na say won't take care of you a where the all this can ye what they aye. No na say no.
Na temage se asi huma de ekosoro o doji aban no na oba no so doji.
Yeah. I think the man where they were you one.
Okay.
Pastor.
More o can't trust in the magazine about BBC. Na say na me kind book be. You need be the tray kai. Is me kai author na. Na no can say be woman. Na me wan kakra o say most Jews Jewish iskafo pa no. They don't open bank account. And or say, don't even open or say, don't ever open bank account in your name. They must set up a trust. Now the trust no be ISO business. How do you be your account be? But no can be said in that way. No, you can avoid taxes. Yes, a chronon work. Yeah. It was not take you mommy say it is ampa. Sign it here.
Yeah. So with the time, I don't know, sir. It's up to you.
Oh no, we 8:30 actually.
Oh, 8:30. Okay.
Oh, yeah, not Q&A no caucus 8:30. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to respect the time. Okay. So essentially trust, you're more who do me. You will be a revocable and irrevocable.
Okay.
Now, a trust, a simple definition of a trust, it's an entity of itself. It has a social security number.
Okay.
That's NIPA, right?
Okay.
Now, revocable no, and no what also known as living trust. I brought also TRC, which means the dying at the asset gold, BBI, whatever, which means at the gum. Right? And see, send our kind, your check, you could put it in a trust. Your savings, you could put it in a trust. Right? But to avoid taxes and now all kind of income taxes are there, you still, I mean, there might be income taxes as long that, especially if in the trust. So if you put like a brokerage account and an investment to be guma, now uko yiska, right? The trust made money, so there might be income taxes in that because there's income that came out.
Okay.
The tax that I believe he was talking about, estate tax.
Oh, okay.
Estate tax, a bit different, and this is something that when we have time, I want to talk about that because you move Ghana for we're buying houses, our estate is expanding. The more houses that you buy, the more estate that you're going to have, and in the state Massachusetts is one of the toughest states to live in. It's very expensive. Stebi bibi eto na ofri mu a taxes a or loved ones betria, especially so omo wo bibi a friend no marital deduction. Nti se bi enka se me na maware na ma free mu a me yire etimi enya me estate no abra won't your taxes any marital deduction. But say be me year free more me ma any mebusia those or more surviving ones no or more on be facing estate taxes. In Massachusetts, on the federal level, I believe say if your estate is above say 10,000 million,
Mhm.
which yeah, will be facing almost like 40% in taxes.
Mhm.
And now on the state levels also, if your estate is above 2 million, will be
Mhm.
facing 16% in taxes.
Mhm.
And when you move baby is like, oh, 2 million today, but keep in mind your house, the value of your house every year it appreciates. And
Mhm.
every year, so we pay down the mortgage, the value keeps going higher and higher. You owe less. So that means
Mhm.
say your estate is expanding. And
Mhm.
it could be to the point, maybe you will 3 decades you're using as investments in idea no.
Mhm.
That value, maybe I will turn off. And now it's worth 1 million. Maybe I
Mhm.
will try wow Sufian off. And that's worth like 1.5 million.
Mhm.
You have reached that threshold, Say
Mhm.
and I'll be to loved ones, on bet you 16% in just taxes.
Okay. Okay.
So I think so, but so to avoid that estate tax, ultimately the ufie and our assets will be ultimately the good be a friend irrevocable trust. So
Mhm.
irrevocable trust in it there. And it there sika and our assets, whatever it is that you put in that, that irrevocable trust and it there it's not part of our estate
Mhm.
until you would avoid paying estate taxes.
Mhm.
Right? Into
The
other
tax,
people,
the tax
as
deɛ ɛhe na wobɛtua no no mu?
I know. Oh, I know. Tax. I mean, depending on what's in it, so you might face income taxes.
Tax.
Yeah, your
Okay.
investment, but about
Mhm.
estate taxes, yeah. So I think the trick I said jeopardy, what
Mhm.
jeopardy,
Yeah.
yeah. That about that taxes on that in there, irrevocable trust in it there, and it there, untra estate taxes, anymore.
Yo, meda ase pa kyerɛ sɛ ɔman wei nam sɛ nti na asikafoɔ no bi no dɔgye taxes akɛseɛ bebrebe no.
Oh yeah, so they have ways.
Yɛwɔ nneɛma ahodoɔ bebree wɔ hɔ a ebi a yɛkɔ so suasua wei no megye sɛ biebie ani paa.
Yeah.
Memfa a wokasa madwen sɛ Kwame ɛdafofo bi wɔ so ɛna Dr. Boampɔn so wɔ so naanom sɛ ɔno nso sɛ ɔte aseɛ paa ebi a ɛyɛ sɛ dakɔ yɛ panel discussion na yɛbusa mu nyinaa bi a de mu nyinaa to so yɛbusabusa mu nyinaa questions sɛ it seems sɛ wei yɛ wealth of knowledge a we yɛ community no we haven't tapped into it.
Mm-hmm.
So na it's about time sɛ ebi a Yesu nya mmaeɛ a ɛsɛ sɛ yɛte saa nneɛma wei ase na
Papa,
na
Pastor.
interest bi a nyɛ sɛ interest benefits bi a ɛwɔ mu no yɛn nso yɛtumi nya bi ɛfiri sɛ yɛm sɛ yɛ a yɛnyinyini deɛ ɛm sɛ yɛwɔ sika yɛnhunu nneɛma bi antumi a moyɛ sika ho ban papa ama wonyini duro certain age a na wowe sɛ oh awo sɛ ka menim saa nneɛma yi nyinaa nti yɛda mo ase sɛ mokyerɛkyerɛ saa nneɛma yi mu.
Absolutely. Me know you dream pastor, so me say pastor and pastor me know auntie anytime that panel is possible, I am more than happy to help. Send all kind, I agree. So my client, I've been blessed to have a different demographics of clients. And I know maybe we're hard, almost all kind it's got fun. They know, right? And they know how to avoid paying taxes and where to hide money. You could put some money in LLC and all this other stuff, and nobody real out bit to me. I but there's some stuff, and maybe also some people it might be too late, but it's not impossible. But you could also pass down this generation. I mean, this knowledge to the next generation, right? And there are some even a 401k, yeah, I'm a kind, yeah, and Roth accounts inside normal. And there are ways that you bet to me I save your hard earned money. Cause I did ya pa and say usika. Wow, so now usika while working hard for it. Not Uncle Sam, I bet for almost half of it. Right. So there are, yeah, and to me know yeah, Pastor, I believe there's a lot of ways that you bet to me boy your community, It's just a mom betty no more and then you know be I think so I am on board with that idea big time. So I don't mean say
Yɛda ase paa Nyame nhyira wo.
you know but
Ah,
obi but your ma Millicent boache amanensa so. And
Yeah, Mr. Boache, yeah. Me paucho me de kakra ka o presentation hu me so me a financial agent.
okay.
Na me suggest say another portfolio bi nso a ye betimi asewu sika wo ho na ya compound interest say emfaso abaso amayen a si ekoyi sika wo ma yentua taxes na ye nyina ye ka taxes ho asem ba nso ye life insurance. Mehu sɛ yɛn ɛsɛ sɛnea woka no yɛn no yɛmu bebree yɛka life insurance a ne yɛdwen sɛ bi a sɛbi obi bɛfiri mu ansa na wanya access to that money, but there are other life insurance with living benefits, meaning sɛ while a yɛte ase yi koraa no yɛbɛtumi anya sika bebree wɔ mu na yɛsave yɛ sika wɔ mu a mmerɛ so sɛ yɛgye sika wɔ mu a yɛntua taxes nti ɛno nso ebia sɛ yɛdwen ho na ebia de ɛno nso ɛka ho
Midasi, yeah, and so yeah, another way.
Amen.
Anti Millicent
Me
says you
pacho,
also dachi obe present bi amaye. Eyi
you
me
pastor.
pacho,
asma o kan sisi a no me da so ba. Say I'm not advocating say ye loopholes are into tax and the auto mem na your ma ba so tax. But in me bu ho a ya na wunnim te say the anti Millicent kan yi. Be fie 9 ni. Menye sika bi na menwene ho. The na menim. Okay. Me ne me wife ye life insurance bi. Na ye no be I'm say 2000 I said 2002. And yere akwa bi ba fie ha na wo bopono na broni bi ne ne trans. Ne yɛ mpɛsɛ be okra na ɔyɛ ya na yɛ yoy. Enti ba fie mi nsɛm wɔ ha na ɔmo twero me sɛ akabosome na ehu. Na me say na me ka say life. Na me say 20 a term of 20 years. And I'm say oh na me nim sa anyway. To mo ka kan na no na me say enti na manwi no so no nti menya de ewu. And almost almost say ya no. And almost you pay man can say a mature they pay out to about 4,000 something. Enti say a 20-year term. Enti bewu ya says can be rampa no ma de breme. Na me say hey ade nam ka se matua to agu. Manwo na yam fam breme busiafo. Enti omo de bi sa breme enti kese saa nneɛma wei no menka sɛ tua na enwu ne mfa mrɔ but sɛda mo ken de enti kra me ko busa mu no well na me busa man sana menya letter na sɛ I learned say there are different kinds na sama me na menim ebi wɔ hɔ a after some time wobɛtumi akɔbɔ mu bosia kra enti ɛno na me ko busa sɛ na metumi abɔ mu bosia no sɛ ebewu enti ewu I be say na bɛbrɛ back which but I think that again I want to advocate seriously that we need to educate our members. Yet tikrum ha na NASDAQ for every 20,000. Inti so can life insurance obi ambe so beti kura. If you say him say ya insure ho NASDAQ you know. Biso a NASDAQ you know unnim de beto actually nyame mpanguni hɔ a oyire no ma anaasɛ sɛda wo kan no sɛ ebi wɔ hɔ a woyaa ne duru baabi na betumi akɔ withdraw kora firim kɔbɔmbosi a monkyerɛkyerɛ na ya so kind of hard earned money no for giving in Eddie.
Yeah, nti we dey mama get minister o man as memo wakasa. One thing I just want to talk about real quick for like 2 minutes or 1 minute. So I mean, I work with life insurance company with a life insurance firm. Messiah Investments in the idea. I'm a big advocate for life insurance. I have no kids. I have almost 2 million of coverage. But the me to me aka, this is an issue I see in our community, African community. But you have to be very careful with who you do business with and the company that you do business with. I've been doing this for almost 5 years, and I have seen and heard all kinds of stories. Life insurance is the idea in here, no doubt about it. Especially if you put in a trust that a idea in here. But ABM also you're very, very careful because then na pastor can simple corner and structure ni ye. Na wama wo sika na ye wo de ano wo wante ase ye a wo ye wa adwen se wo kwakọ use care free mu no afi na mbaka se sika say any say na wom any say nti me that I am very because I'm an investment advisor. I do investment me your whole portfolio in idea. So when you use life insurance as an investment, you have to be very careful on how you use it. Also, to me, as if you're explaining to a 2-year-old so that they understand, because sometimes it's new, a new language, and nobody understands. So I am not this agreeing with life insurance. I'm a big life insurance guy. I love it. There's a financial guy, be a friend Dave Ramsey. He's a Christian financial advisor. I love him. On the life insurance is on better cry. But I'm the opposite. I'm a big fan. Nti me ne pastor yadre. But the me can there I'm an honest guy. You have to be careful because some people have taken advantage of our community and I have seen it and it has broken my heart. Nti ano so kakra mpesem de kan. Mama ge we di mpa chofa chaye ubetimi ebusa question.
Na emo nkapo.
Mepatro na pastor kan it is sɛnea woka yɛ true paa. Life insurance no yɛba afoforɔ mehu sɛ me kunu yɛ biara for 10 good years. Sɛ na 10 years na ɛda so. 10 years no so yɛ no yɛnya hwee wɔma me yɛ hwee ɛno ara ne sɛ yɛnya hwee pastor deɛ wotiri yɛyɛ na anya biribi. Enti no mehu sɛ Mr. Boache where you know New York Life that's so. And who work for them?
But I
As a and me want life insurance or but the you know term no na me pese ewu me nya dia me renew no say me retire nti nya dia me renew the you know term no bio no say no nya dia minim say me nya bibia for all this year and then 10 years right
15
yeah
years, so what renewed
I term no enti no mo ma ya hwe wa ho
so well.
The man, the bit my number, me ma. Na you do come on more.
whole life ne dia wo say mo ani atepan na mo ma yaketwa bi sika ketwa bi na wo so whole life no ntini board nti ntimi anya kese na wo ma share that time no dia no mama more money na dia medre ya me marite ye de ya be den metuetu asa ka enti no mo ma ya hwe a omo frɛ me kura me fi wo omo frɛ me omo se me nya app New York Life no me put app na me nya incentive bi e course no me nya so I don't do it enti me frɛ
But yeah, from me number my fine but me the better screen is so be what a be out bit my Uncle Joe, but you attend so I'm on so.
Yes, Carmen. Yeah, I mean, sharp,
adesua or the ama yɛn and nea Auntie Maggie kind na meka kakra fa ho sɛ wɔn sɛ lesson yi a yɛyɛ sɛ wohwɛ nipa a yɛwɔ so a unhu young person biara wɔ so but this is a lesson anka nipa a ebetumi anya ho mfasoɔ anya adesua wɔ mu kɛseɛ paa no ɛyɛ yɛn young people no but they don't want to hear this. Enti yɛtwɛn a yɛbɛdi 40, 50 no. Na afei na sɛnea yɛka na afei na ebi a wadwen life insurance ho. Sɛ woka sɛ wokɔyɛ whole life no Auntie Maggie sɛ mo ani ate paa deɛ ɔyɛ a mo ayɛ ketewa bi. But ɛnyɛ insurance wɔn na ɛbɛyɛ ne ketewa so ɔka sɛ ɔyɛ ne kɛse ama wo a wode paycheck nyinaa na ɛbɛtua saa adeɛ. But senior Kwame Kenzo Kasono, why be about 2 million at a young age, you can get a very big amount and pay less. So starting in Temwa, in TNA, your money, your no. Any sound come away. Yeah, the senior pastor can in Abia, you movie, you may say this opportunity, but almost no better than a groom hatching. Yɛn ɛda sɛ boa ebi a yɛma yɛ so ɛde ɛbɛ akɔhyɛ tamfoɔ yi ɔmo na ɔmo bɛtena kurom ha no mo akyɛ ne ɔmo yere ne ɔmo mma daakye no this is dedication and a year ɛsɛ sɛ ɔmo hyɛ aseɛ ɛdwen ho di ho nkɔmmɔ I mean we have some young people sɛnea Kwame ka no a they have started very good investments a ɛyɛ very strong and ɛbɛboa ɔmo daakye. Enti yɛne yɛma ne yɛnananom no ɛwɔ school na ɔmo ahyɛ aseɛ yɛ adwuma a sika no ɛbɔ ɔmo nsɛm seesei no ɛni nkɔmmɔ ɔmo adamfo ɔmo mate ne Kwame they can sit down and we can all talk and do things ɛbɛboa ɔmo daakye sɛdeɛ pastor kan no ɛyɛ very big education but nokora mu paa ne sɛ yɛnyɛ community koraa deɛ ayɛ a ne yɛmpɛ atie but Nyame adom nkakra emu bi eba mi ogidie sɛ ɛyɛ dɛn adaakye nti asɛ no bɛyɛ adwuma ma yɛn na yɛn nso yɛtumi anya mu mfaso.
Thank you, Uncle Joe.
So Kwame metumi aboa kakra.
Yeah.
One pony. I know
doctor.
We've met many times. We've spoken about Saturday way. Me personally, I like to kind of me curious about those kind of investment, you know. Opportunity be many no. So will be you say or some of these products and also some of these companies or person meeting come mediana me 30 no. Na median say I will say I have almost from 529 to almost what the form of any Americans are at least one or the other, and I have some form of account. Uncle Joe credit my dancers I have an IUL true or no, any other form of insurance. But the American say we are can say a big investment. Now then me personally the margin cause I think so you mentioned one guy, Dave Ramsey. I listened to him a lot. And another guy, Robert something, on YouTube. I listened to that guy a lot. Now, the Americans said they made a very simple analysis. In the out of curiosity, and I'm a investment calculator, online. And I just put in simple figures with a 10% rate of return. And I was surprised to see after 30 years or 25 years, just putting small amount consistently, being disciplined, without after 25 to 30 years, the amount nice. I was shocked. Therefore, the question was I said, which means every Ghanaian now bet na kruma, which means now over 25 or 30 years consistently year you man. I don't think that we should all retire broke. I just was like, wow. Which means that if we are very disciplined, we should be able to retire like very happy. Say even you social security kurana. I felt that if we can take advantage of the system now, but the sad thing is that I am in Ghana for most of the time. The backroom you need to we want to do big things in our in back home. Nakwa say yeah, but and looks like we are in competition with other folks. And we tend to spend the money on
Yeah.
unnecessary stuff, excuse me to say.
No, yeah.
Scar and keep to media to baby ama so abam for so ama we end up wasting that money. But the truth is that you don't need a big money to start.
Yeah.
The small amount that you put down over time, the power of compound interest, just the interest alone is like about 8 times the amount that you actually put down. Just allowing that long years for the money to grow.
Especially when your dividends is also
yes, I will encourage people say especially as the more youth from not they are working on, just encourage them say they have to think about the future. Many times Hana young folks, they're thinking about the latest phone and the nicest cars and some of these things, but Anna are to see Ghanaians I bet Nakum will be at Nakum about 40 years. I've already a dream retirement that I've already or con or because some of these things we never paid attention to. But I mean to say and I'm hoping that we will all learn. And that's it.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you. The kind I agree 110%. He's yeah, no credit, yeah, 110%. Unfortunately, we have seen some people that did not prepare well and the consequences. But yeah, and so
Yes.
thank you. Thank you for this
Yes,
opportunity.
yes. That's a pa Kwame, any other Kwame bande, yɛde Nyankopɔn ase sɛ n'adom nti, yɛsua. I'm say 2 weeks ago, I saw Penny Patrick Phoebe started a similar presentation. It's just so amazing. Na last week, I saw twice. And I'm saying, maybe we're free, and I may be share. And tell the Phoebe, where when I was Saba. I'm saying, Yama win where some of the boy, I wish saying Kamesaya 1998. Now, me started for as a young pastor. Not yet Ghana. Now, a year be a stewardship. Na sabre no na kakra me minim. It was that time I'm encouraging for say monto dan yo. Ebinom ka kire me at that time say sofo. Wo de jama yiri nya Ghana ni nti na we ka sa. Ye tu bata o ya ni bata. Emu bu be kire me. Ya metena ha yetwam ne ade. Ebi wo ho a yesi wo mukunu a. Wo manum ka sa asem bi kire. Ebi so wo mote ha da so me no mu nyina da so te ha. Wo se ye ba akọ mu nyankoi. Na ya na yɛn nyinaa no yɛbaa ne yɛn nan baako si ha na baako si ha. Oh, pastor, wɔ Toronto na maame bi baeɛ ɛna ɔse nti yɛdi nkɔmmɔ ara na mese mama na ɔse me deɛ mɛha nyɛ me do pastor 10 years pɛ na mekɔ ɔda so te ha ne ba wo aware ne ba wo nana anyina ne ba bɛwo no kurom ha no waware awo nana maame no da so te kurom ase wɔnkɔɛ enti deɛ yɛka kyerɛ sei no Oma yɛntase no sɛ madwema ehia paa yɛbrɛ na yɛbrɛ nti Kwame me nyame nhyira wo. You will come again sɛ me can this is open public domain me deɛ I believe in knowledge and me listen mate sɛ no I'm so what ho akyɛ me pɛnyɛ first time ni nti ba bɛtwe ho na I'm say ana wo fɛre kakra nti na me mfa mo so nti no ba bɛtwe ho da ko na mo nyinaa obiara de One was at the corner of Bobia about the free angle be an eba. It is a software, nine, a preachy a war, a ye, Kenny Ebel, Obia the free angle be, Naning our boy, riding shy, and the net the end the Bicini, the Mabon Pie and Eshra, Memon Pie. You who are Injran counting say, what day, Wakua, and Subakai on there. Na or Baba, Niema who will be more actually. A addition to a body of knowledge. Say, adeɛ so na mo so kyerɛkyerɛ ma yɛnte aseɛ. Na yɛsrɛ sɛ ma yɛmfa afutu asɛm a wɔ mu no yɛn ankasa yɛmfa nyɛ adwuma. Yɛmfa ma yɛn mma ne yɛn nananom. Ɛsiane sɛ Yesu nya mmaeɛ a yɛte kuro yi mu na ɛsɛ sɛ biribi wɔ mu a ɛbɛboa yɛn na yɛtrase ayɛ ha kakra wadom nti fa kyerɛkyerɛ yɛn na ma yɛ ɔpani mfa nyɛ adwuma hyira dwumadie yi so hyira wakɔ a na wode nimdeɛ brɛ yɛ so yesu din mu na yɛsrɛ wadom mu amen nnɛ nuanom deɛ yɛde bɛsie ne nyame nka yɛ ho nyame yɛ adoma na wɔhwɛ sɛnnɛ yɛbɛhyia yɛ nyinaa wɔka nyamsɛm wɔ baabi nti me na mekorɔ no ɛne akra mo